It makes you nervous. Feel free to mute yourself then. I know Kent doesn't like grunting and groaning. He doesn't like people to hear him grunt and groan. And I want to make sure you can see. Elise is reassuring him. And I don't know quickly if anybody wants to say hey or wave in front of the camera. You can feel free. I know your Tuesday peeps miss you, Elise. All right. So there's our last person. Come to an easy seated position on your mat. Find your comfortable position. Hi, welcome. You can put your shoes in the rack there. I'm Sandy. You haven't been in the studio before, have you? Okay, cool. Go ahead and put your shoes in the rack. There's a coat rack in the back. And then you'll see stalls where you can place your mat. You can take your mask off once you're on your mat. Okay. And you all will be able to hear me a little bit better in just a moment. We had one more yogi friend come in to join us. So as you find an easy seated position on your mat today, check in with your hips. And if you're not using a blanket and your hips or your back are a little cranky, feel free to grab a blanket. Yeah, you can take that back here. And then press the sit bones down and pull yourself slightly forward so that, go all the way back, so that your rib points are coming forward of your sit bones. Pull the belly button towards the core. Lift up through the heart. And then draw the shoulders east to west. Do you want to avoid the cord? Do you want to be like over here, one of these spots? The cord's in kind of an obnoxious spot. And then begin to count your breath, noticing how many counts you can take on the inhale and how many counts on the exhale. Thank you, sweetheart. And strive to bring those two into an even rhythm. Today's class is what Kathy used to call them. I hope you enjoy. I always love these. A kitchen sink class. That idea of not focusing on any one area of the body, but instead finding overall strength and stretching throughout the body. We'll take a few more breaths here, letting everyone catch up. Those of you that practice with an intention on your mat, a sankalpa, feel free to bring that intention into your mind. And as you find your intention, bring your hands together at your heart center. Gently pressing the palms in towards each other. Roll the elbows slightly up. Feel the shoulder blades roll onto the back. Notice how just that little adjustment changes how you feel sitting. And then gently bow your head, honoring your intention. If no intention, simply honoring the fact that you're on your mat, ready to take care of your body and your mind today. Inhale, lifting your head up. Let your eyes flutter open softly and let your hands come down around your knees. So I want to welcome everyone. If you were rushing to get into class, it's okay, relax, don't worry about that. If you were rushing to get onto your mat, let this be your time to take this time just to relax, take care of your body, and to let go of that, right? Let go of that frustration for those of us driving here. Maybe there was a train or a crazy driver in front of us. For those of you at home, maybe family, phone, other things not wanting to let you let go and focus. So for the next hour or so, try to let go of those things, knowing they're all going to be there when we walk out of the studio or when you step off your mat. All those things will be there, and that's okay. Go ahead from here. We're going to come down into a supine position or on your back. So if you're on any prop, come down all the way onto your back. You don't have to have your strap with you yet. And as you come down, yeah, move away from the wall far enough that you're not going to bonk your head. We're going to build our Tadasana pose here, remembering that Tadasana is the blueprint pose for everything that we do in yoga. And I would even say it should be our blueprint for our life. So when you're standing in line at the grocery and you're feeling like, okay, come on, see if you can find your Tadasana pose easily, softly there. So let's begin to build it here. Press through your heels and draw your toes up towards the ceiling, flexing your feet. Go ahead, take an extra little stretch there as you would for your first morning stretch, and then kind of relax the legs slightly as though you were simply standing on them. Now come to your forearms and lift up your head without moving your feet. Notice what your feet are doing. For many of us, as we look at our feet, we'll discover that, oh, I pull up on my toes or I push back on my outer edges. So we want to even those feet out as though you were standing on the floor. Once you've got them nice and even, then you can go ahead and slide yourself back down onto your back. We're going to move up the legs now by accessing the back. So as you're laying here, I would like you to arch the back as much as you need to get your hamstrings, the backs of your thighs, to come down towards the mat as far as they'll go. So don't worry about stacking the ribs yet. We'll get there. Just arch that back and feel how that helps you to take the hamstrings onto the mat. Don't let go of the feet, okay? Now we want to engage the core of the body. So begin to, at the top of your rib cage, the back, start to press, keeping the thighs pressing into the mat. Start to try to muscularly press those ribs down towards the mat. You'll feel the core of your body engaged in order to complete that action. Keep all that you've built. Externally rotate the upper arms if you haven't done that already so that your palms go skyward. So roll the arms out. And then using the muscles of the back and the shoulders, can you roll the tops of the shoulders closer to the floor? Taking the shoulders further apart, east to west, all right? Rather than lifting up the heart again and rearranging, keep what you've got going in the core. Use the muscles to draw the heads of the shoulders down towards the floor. Then stretch out long through the neck. Take a moment here and look over your right shoulder. Bring the nose back to center and then roll the nose back over towards the left. Bring your nose and your neck back into a neutral position and take 3 breaths here, noticing if anything is pulling or pushing. Have you lost the hamstrings? Can you reset that? Can you pull the core in? Making all those tiny little adjustments that have to do with balance throughout our body, throughout the day. At the end of your 3rd breath, we're going to slowly release all of the tension throughout the body. Just let the body melt. And then bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Now think cat cow. We're going to do pelvic tilts here, but we're going to do them by engaging the core of the body. So begin by drawing your belly button up towards the sky. Think cow. Pulling the belly button up, shoulders roll down onto the mat. Your hands might flip over, pressing into the floor to help you achieve this. Notice what's happening in the tailbone. When we turn over and do this on our hands and knees, we want to be able to access this lift of the tailbone, the lift of the sacrum. Exhale now, press the belly button down into the floor without using your thigh muscles. Can you find that pelvic tilt the other direction? You're pressing your core so hard into the floor. Your shoulders pull up off the mat. Your core is deeply engaged. Sometimes when we go to cat on all fours, we forget that the front of the body is actually what's initiating this action. Do a few more of those, exploring your supine cat cow here. Noticing without using the legs, if you can access this feeling of arching the back and then pulling the back down. So finding your cat, finding your cow. Those of you that are in studio, if you're having trouble accessing this or not, or understanding what I'm asking for, just look at me funny. I'll put on my mask and come over and help you, okay? Your shoulders can roll all the way up. Don't pull your head up because that will engage the neck, and we want to keep the neck nice and neutral. We just want this to happen like cat-cow between the sacrum and the shoulders. When you've completed one more round of that supine cat-cow, go ahead, relax the entire body. Plant the left foot, draw the right foot up and over the left knee. And as you press the left hand down on the left hip bone, start to use the right hand to press the right knee out and away, opening up those hips. Nice big breath in and out here. In my class, if you've not practiced with me before, remember everything is an invitation. You're welcome to take it to that next step or to stay. If you're like, oh my gosh, this feels good, then you just stay there, right? If you'd like to go a little deeper in this pose, release the hands and draw the left thigh parallel to the left shin parallel to the floor. Thread your hands through and grasp the thigh. If it's difficult to grasp the back of the left thigh without engaging the neck, you can either place a block under your neck or thread your strap through and make your arms longer. Once you get there, make certain that the feet are flexed and you're pressing the right knee away as you draw the left leg in closer. The whole back from sacrum to shoulders should be on the floor. Part of your shoulders will lift just in that drawing the arms forward, and that's okay. And again, you're welcome to stay right here or to lift that left leg up towards the sky. Feel the hamstrings really pressing back into the hand if you extend the leg. Once you are here, wherever that left leg is, can you point your left toes and then flex your left foot? And again, point the left toes and flex the left foot. Then start to make some circles with the left foot, going one direction and then going the other direction. Bend that left leg if you straightened it and bring the left foot to the outside of the left hip. The arms can roll up into either cactus or straight out into a T. Exhale and take the knees off to the right for an easy supine twist. Sorry, this isn't an easy, this is a bound supine twist. Who am I kidding? If it's too difficult or too much too early in class, just unhook that right ankle off that left knee. As you're breathing here, notice how the left pec muscles feel. So running just in front of your armpit into your breast area on the left side, noticing if there's pulling or tightness there. If there is, draw the right arm up off the floor and you actually kind of grab that pectoral muscle and squeeze it. And then release it to let go, and you can squeeze it again and release it. That helps that muscle to relax and let go. Right arm floats back out, drawing the left upper rib cage towards the floor. Feel the knees melt further down to the right. Inhale, lift the knees back up towards the sky. Take that right foot off the left knee and bring the left leg up and over. Move the hips around until they feel square again on the mat. Press the right hand into the right hip bone, left hand to the left thigh. Gently with both feet flexed, start to press that left knee away. For some of you, this is a lot of sensation. For others, you think this isn't doing me anything. So in that case, you draw the right knee in and you thread the arms through. Again, checking in on the neck. It wants to help out here. We don't want it to. You can use that left elbow to press out. So if the neck is getting involved here, place a block under the head or straps in your hands. Take a couple of breaths, feet flexed. If you stretched your leg up on the other side, go for it here. Noticing those hamstrings, and then begin to point and flex and point and flex. And then make some circles with the toes. I love go ahead and do the other side. A great exercise with your feet is trying to, when you're sitting, Write your name with your toes in the air. And then bend your right knee and bring that right foot to the outside of the hip. Arms pressed back up into cactus or a T, whatever serves your shoulders. Exhale, take the knees off to the left. That right foot can travel out further to the right so that the knife edges of your legs descend towards the floor. Take a couple of breaths here, noticing that right pectoral muscle now. If it needs a little assistance, feel free to reach up and grab it. With your next exhale, try to draw your right shoulder blade and your right upper back rib cage towards the floor. And with the next exhale, let the knees sink further to the left. With an inhale, draw the knees back up towards the sky, plant the feet on the mat, and then with the left foot planted, draw the right foot in. We're headed to half happy baby. So take the right knee wider than the chest, stack the right ankle on top of the right knee, thread your right arm to the inside of the right leg and grasp the outside. Left hand can come to the left hip as you start to pull that right thigh down towards the floor. It's pretty early, so please don't take that variation yet where you roll to your side and try to lay the whole thigh on the ground. That's for the end of class if you want to do that. Release the right leg and we'll switch to half happy baby on the other side. So draw that left leg up, take it out wider than the chest, stack the left ankle on top of the left knee, and then guide your left arm to the inside of your knee and the hand to the outside left foot. Exhale with the right hand on the hip, start to draw the left thigh down towards the floor. Nice big breath here. And release this leg, place the feet on the floor. Draw the knees in towards the chest, grasping the shins. Go ahead, cross the feet at the ankles, holding the knees in tight. Give yourself a back rub, rolling from stem to stern until you're ready to come all the way up, finding a seated position. Swing your legs around behind you and find your tabletop pose. From here, bring the toes together, the knees out wide, and as you exhale, sink right back and down into a child's pose. Take a few nice deep breaths here, kind of getting luxurious like a cat in the sun. Pressing the hips down as you stretch out through the fingers. When you're ready, on an inhale, cup those hands and come up onto tented fingers. Planting your hips where they are on the mat, not letting them travel with you. Take your fingers off to the right side of your mat, finding a nice long side body stretch. As you exhale, press your hips back and down, pulling the left hip especially back. Easy for me to say. And then walk back into the center with the hands. Draw the ears down in line with the arms. And keeping the head in line with the arms, walk the hands off to the left side of your mat. Again, pressing that right hip back now, stretching through the right fingers, breathing into this pose. Walk the hands back into the center of the mat, press the palms into the mat and rise up, finding your tabletop position. With the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. We're going to take that right arm out long, finding our bird dog, stretching the left leg out. Now for balance, you can play with, does it help me if I tuck my right toes, or does it help if I lay my right toes flat? Test it out with your body. And then make certain that the right arm is drawing in close to the right ear, the left thigh is drawing towards the right thigh, the shoulder is pressing up and away from the mat. Find your stillness for 3, 2, 1, and then make a fist, and on the exhale, curl in. I haven't done bird dog crunches in a while. On the inhale, stretch out. Elise is like, yay, just in time for me. Curl in again. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale, curling in. Inhale, stretching out. Drop your right hand down and draw your left leg into the center of your mat. So as though you were headed for pigeon, but your left knee is right in the center of the mat. We're actually headed for not Gomukhasana, John. Draw the right knees all the way up, tucking into the left. we're going to take that Desiree stretch. So take your arms out in front long, like you're headed to puppy dog. Pull your right hip forward and your left hip back, and then start to press down as though you were headed to child's pose. Rolling your left knee up off the mat, stretching through the body. Beautiful. So we're pressing those hips down and low towards the heels. I know it might be, sometimes students look at me and they're like, I am, this is it, leave me alone. Inhale, press up. And then unwind your pretzel. Coming back to all fours, we're going to take that bird dog on the other side. So extend the left arm out, extend the right leg. Check your form by pulling that left arm in by the left ear, right thigh over towards the left side, pull the belly up and press your shoulders away from the mat. Hold that for 3, 2, 1, and then make a fist and let's exhale and curl in. Inhale and stretch out. 2 more. Breathing as you go, thinking cat cow with the spine. Beautiful. When you've completed that last one, left hand floats down, right knee comes forward, and we swing the right foot past the left knee, drawing the knee into the center of the mat. Snug the left knee up close. Take the arms out long in front of you. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Exhale, press your hips down towards the floor, drawing your head in line with your arms. And breathe. I always think it's fun when we scrunch up our middle belly and then tell people to breathe. Inhale, press up, finding your tabletop position. Good, I'm not the only one that caught the humor in that. Walk your knees back a couple of inches, tuck your toes, press your hips back and then lift up and find your down dog. You can keep your knees bent here. Find a comfortable position in the hands. So make certain your hands are wider than your shoulders and you're pressing evenly through the root knuckles of your fingers. Then press the mat away, pushing your hips up even higher. Pull the ribs towards the hips, and now maybe you exhale and start to draw the heels closer to the floor. Take 3 breaths here. If you want to walk your dog out or do whatever feels comfortable, do that. At the end of this next breath, we're actually going to walk our hands back towards our heels and find a forward fold at the back of our mat. Now in your forward fold, I noticed as I'm watching videos, I tend to push my weight way back so that when I come back to Ardha Uttanasana, I'm too far back. My butt's back past my heels. So check to make certain in your forward fold that you're still on all 4 corners of your feet, and then slide your hands up your shins for Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold. Now bend the knees deeply enough that you can get your fingers down onto a block, the mat, whatever. Let your head completely relax towards the floor. Maybe your chest is resting on or your belly is resting on your thighs. Keep your hands planted and your head down and see if you can start to straighten the legs just a little bit without lifting your head or your hands. Just go as far as you can there. Then exhale and bend deeply into the knees. Bring your hands back up and place them on top of like above your knees on your thighs. Inhale the back straight for Ardha, then straighten the legs and lift the sit bones. Again, check to make certain your weight is evenly balanced on all 4 corners of your feet. Pull the belly up and in and forward fold. Bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhale, sweeping the eyes and the arms up. If you guys need the fans at any time, let me know, okay? Right hand over left wrist. We're going to reach all the way up, plant that left foot, and then float over to your right. Inhale, coming back up through center, switch the hands out, reach all the way up, plant that right foot, and out of that, reach over to the left. Inhale all the way up, press the palms together, exhale, hands down to the heart. I'd like you to grab your blocks and make certain that you have blocks on either side of your mat. If you place them about halfway up your mat, then you'll be able to access them in pretty much any pose that I put you in and forget to cue them. Because I do that. All right, standing at the back of your mat, find your Tadasana pose. So build it like we did at the beginning of class, right? Press through the feet, flexing the feet. Draw the shins in and pull the thighs out. Now, before you worry about the belly at all, press the hips and the thighs back like that. You should have felt your booty kind of shoot out. Press your sit bones towards the floor and keep pushing the thighs back. So you should feel a lot of push me, pull you action right here. Can we get that? Now pull the belly button towards the spine, roll the shoulders apart. Inhale up. Reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, keep the hips pressing back and forward fold. Inhale, halfway for Ardha. As you exhale, find your blocks and place them under your hands. Then walk your hands out, kind of elephant style, to a shortened down dog. So how far out? I want you short enough that your feet touch the floor, and we're not going to worry if your back is curling just a little bit here, okay? Plant your left hand on your block and reach through with your right hand, finding your shin or your calf on the left side. Then look up underneath your left armpit, bend your right elbow and twist, looking up to the left. Remember that block has 3 heights. I love Kent has his up on the highest height, showing us you can change the height. Walk your right hand back. And then as you exhale, dive the left arm through, finding the right shin. Bend the left elbow, look up underneath the right armpit and twist. You got it. Inhale, releasing the hands. You can take the blocks off to the side of the mat and then walk yourself out to your traditional down dog position. Plant your left foot and float your right leg as high up in the air as it will go. Hold it there and then press your left heel down towards the floor. We're going to do some crunches here. So bend your right knee, bring your right knee to your right elbow as you exhale. As you inhale, stretch out long. We're going to come into the center now. Bend the knee and draw the knee up in. Come up onto the left toes. As you inhale, press back out long. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, curl, curl, curl. And then inhale, stretch back out. Drop your right foot down by your left. Bend your knees and press down into a child's pose. If the wrists are bothering you, bend the elbows and just work the wrists out a little bit. If you haven't been practicing yoga regularly, you might notice, my wrists are really taking a lot of abuse. Elise says the floor is different than carpeting. Press your hands into your mat. Inhale, rise up and find your down dog. So we can do that on the other side. So take a moment, find your strong down dog, arms wider than your shoulders. Plant that right foot, then lift the left leg up nice and high, coming up onto the toes, and then exhaling the heel, the right heel towards the floor. Now bend the left knee, bring the left knee, left elbow. Inhale, stretch out long. Exhale, come into the center, come up onto those right tippy toes. Inhale, heel goes down, you stretch back out long. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, stretch out long, and draw the left foot down by the right. If you'd like a child's pose, you can take that. If you'd like a little bit stronger practice, push forward. We'll exhale, take the vinyasa, and we'll all meet in down dog in just a few breaths. Love it. I'm going to watch so I can see when everybody's in down dog. Take one more breath in your down dog here. And then plant the left foot, float the right leg up, bend the knee and swing the right foot in between the hands. Draw the left knee down and rise up, finding a nice low lunge. Press up through the right arm and draw the left hand down to the mat. Twist your belly button over to the right, turning this into a twisted low lunge. You're welcome to stay here, pulling the right hip back, or dig the left toes in, lift the left knee up, and find a twisted high lunge. You got it. All right, we're going to drop the right hand down to the mat. And then slowly, keeping our legs in a runner's lunge, draw your arms up and find an airplane. Flip your palms up and rise up to high lunge. Exhale, press back down. Flip the palms, rise back up. Exhale, float back down. One more time. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, floating the hands down. Stepping back, finding your plank. Take the vinyasa or simply press to down dog. Your practice, your choice. We'll all meet again in down dog. Beautiful. When you're ready, plant that right foot. Lift the left leg up. Bend the left knee and sweep the foot forward. Right knee comes down to the mat. And we inhale, lifting the arms up, finding our low lunge. Now remember, pull the left leg back and the right hip forward. Draw the right arm down as you stretch up through the left for balance, and then twist to the left. Take a moment here and decide, are we going deeper? Or are we staying here? At least that's beautiful. Plant those right toes if you want to go deeper, lifting the right knee up off the ground. Try to keep the hips low and quiet. And then draw the left hand down. If you stayed in the low lunge, draw your right knee up so we're all in a runner's lunge. Then inhale and float the arms out to your side. Flip those palms and rise up. 2 more times, floating with the breath. Low body stays quiet. Upper body floating. You're just that strong. One more time, lift the arms up. This time on the exhale, bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Step into the front foot, lift that back leg up, finding a standing split. Drop the right foot down by the left. Shake those legs out. Inhale up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold. Bring the hands to the hips. Pull the elbows together on the back. Bend the knees and rise all the way up. I looked at the time on my phone. Exhale and almost fell over. When you lose your train of thought, I was thinking, I think I need to turn the fans on in here. Anybody else want fans? Elise still has her sweatshirt on. All right, I want the fans, so you guys get fans. All right, if you want a drink, grab one, and we'll all meet back at the top of our mat. Oh yeah, I remember what comes next now. Oh yeah. We're gonna see if we can get a little bit more standing core work in. So as you're all ready, find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Still your breath. Find that quiet space. Really notice if the thighs are coming forward. Can you press the thighs back and then engage the tailbone? If you close your eyes, let them flutter open. Inhale, sweep the eyes and the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, forward fold, coming all the way down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale and fold. Plant your hands, bend your left knee, and float your right leg back, finding a runner's lunge. Pivot your right foot down parallel to the back edge of your mat and windmill the arms up, finding warrior two. Take a breath here, settling into your warrior. Look down and make certain that your front knee comes out over your second toe and that the foot is pointing forward. All right, we get lots of wonky stuff going on there. Flip that left palm and take a nice little reverse warrior. Beautiful couple of breaths. Try to keep the arm as straight as possible here. We're not in ballet. And then bring the arms back out to warrior two. I know I cracked myself up. Sorry, Katerina. Bend your left arm and bring it onto your thigh. And then roll that right arm over your right ear. Palm towards the floor, please. Think about rolling your shoulders and opening your heart. Now, maybe if your neck feels okay, you can look up towards your right fingers. Find your balance, pull in through the core, and then release the left arm out as though you're holding a beach ball. Yeah, so you just move that left arm off the thigh, She's like, why do you keep doing all this stuff when I'm facing away from you? Pull your right arm up and come back to warrior two. Beautiful. Windmill your arms down and frame that front foot. This time we're going to inhale, step into that left leg, floating that right leg back up again. Don't let me forget it on the other side. We need to do a standing split with the left leg. Shake those legs out. Bend the right knee and float the left leg as far back as you can. Runner's lunge. Pivot the left foot down parallel to the back edge of your mat and windmill up, finding a nice deep warrior two. So remembering as we approach our warrior two, we're trying to get this front thigh parallel to the floor. So we want a nice deep lunge there. We want a nice solid back leg. I'm pulling my hip forward, but my thigh back. Flip the front palm, reach the right arm up, and then maybe stretch further back behind you for reverse. Come back through your warrior two. We're going to go for Parsvakonasana. So right forearm, right thigh. Swing that left arm out over your left ear, drawing the shoulder blade onto the back. Palm towards the floor. Check down, make certain you're not pushing away from the right foot. Stay lunged into that right leg. Maybe your gaze goes up to the left. Pull in through the belly button to give you the core strength to take the right arm off. Float the arms back up to warrior two and windmill the arms down to frame that front foot. All right, we're going to play with a triangle and then a pyramid. So when you're ready, step or hop switch your legs. Beautiful. Plant your left foot, lift, come back to warrior two. So we're going to draw the arms back up. I had to think about where I wanted to go here. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Little dynamic motion here, watching the front knee. As you exhale, bend into that leg and watch your knee track. Come back on the inhale. Again, bend into that knee, making certain that the knee tracks right over. Inhale, straighten up. And one more time. And inhale, straighten up. Now let's play with the arms. So keeping the arms lateral, drive them out to the left and then back. Hips and legs stay still. Drive that left arm forward, coming back. And one more time, left arm forward and come back. Now we're going to drive laterally and then float right arm up, left arm down. Come into kind of an easy triangle pose. And then you decide, do you want to stretch the hand as you get more comfortable here towards the floor or a block, or stay right where you first started? Wherever you are, think about drawing the right shoulder back a bit more, not the right arm, the right shoulder. Again, the gaze can go up towards the right fingers if your neck is feeling okay today. Bring your right hand down to your hip, bend into your left leg, and rise back up to your warrior two. We're going to lift our, I want you to, I'm trying to do a new transition and I'm not doing it well. We're going to come down to a low lunge because I think it would be easier for everyone. Walk your left foot off slightly to the left and draw your right foot to warrior one. So the right toes shorten a bit and point towards the front right corner of your mat, and then float your arms up and find your warrior one. Bend that back knee, lifting the heel up off the floor. And then as you exhale, straighten that leg and press that back heel into the ground. 2 more times. Bend that back knee, feeling the heel come off, and then press that heel down into the ground. 1 more time. Bend into that knee, and then press the heel back down into the ground. All right, reach your hands down and find your blocks, bringing them in close to the front foot. As you press into both feet evenly, drive the left hip back. So we're finding pyramid legs. Once you get there, pull the left hip even further back and the right hip further forward. If you need to walk the blocks a little closer to your hips, that's okay. Plant the hands on the blocks, find an Ardha Uttanasana back. Take a breath or 2 here, and then exhale and fold over that front leg. Inhale, lifting up. Take the blocks off to the side of the mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Can you press into the feet and rise all the way up? Your hands are going to come back behind you in a bind. So you can either just, clasp the hands, or you can, depending on how open your shoulders are, I'm going to turn around, you can bring the hands together, reverse your namaste, and start to slide them up your back. So find the position that works best for you. Pressing evenly through the feet, lift through the heart, engage the belly, and forward fold. Let the hands drop down to the mat to the inside of the left leg, bend into the left leg, and scoot your right leg back. Take your left foot out slightly wider, variation of a lizard lunge. Now, some of you are going to get to this lizard and go, oh, seriously, you're not going to let me go all the way? If you want to go all the way, go ahead. The rest of us are going to stay right here, relaxing into our lizard lunge. And we'll give you just a few breaths. And when you're ready, those of you that went all the way to the ground, stretch back up, drawing that right knee off the floor. Walk your left foot back in between your hands. And we're simply going to draw the right foot up next to the left. Let the head drop and shake the legs out. Plant that right foot, float the left foot back, finding a nice deep runner's lunge. Pivot the left foot down, and we'll head right back to our warrior two. Beautiful. Taking a breath here. Let's do that dynamic stretching. So inhale, straighten the leg. As you exhale, look down, watch that right knee. You'll be amazed at where it goes. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, press down. Do that a few more times, just trying to track that knee straight forward and back. Until finally we stop, leg is stretched, both arms are out, and then take the lateral stretch. Right arm presses forward, weight stays even on both legs. So even as the weight stays even, you'll feel like you're jutting your hip out, but we want to try to keep that weight even. Stretch out again, and then begin to float the fingers up and down. Find first just a nice, easy variation, and then as you breathe, maybe you find you can go a little deeper. Find your final pose. Let your gaze revolve up or down if the neck feels okay. Draw the left hand to the left hip. Inhale, stretching back up. We're going to bend into that front knee, windmill the arms down, and set up for our warrior one. So walk that right foot off slightly, lift the left leg, plant the foot, toes towards the left front corner. Inhale, stretching the arms up. Finding your warrior one. Tidy up your feet, making certain the front knee is right over the front ankle. Then we'll do that bend to the left leg, press the heel down. Inhale, bend that left leg, press the heel down. One more breath, going back and forth. Getting the back heel to really adhere and press down in this stretch. Exhale, bring the hands down, finding your blocks, bringing them in close to frame that front foot. Drive the right hip back, left hip forward, finding pyramid legs. Move your feet in your blocks until you feel comfortable, pressing firmly into the right big toe ball mound. So no sickling of the foot, okay? Ardha Uttanasana back, and then exhale and forward fold. Couple of breaths here, checking in on those hips, pulling right hip back, left hip forward. Push the big toe ball mound down. Inhale, lifting up through the heart. Take the blocks off to the side of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips and pressing evenly through the feet. Rise up. Find your clasp. If you clasp the hands behind your back, make certain you flip which hand is on top. So you'll feel like you have an extra thumb. If you're taking reverse namaste, hands come together and we sneak the hands up the back. Pull the belly in, lift through the heart. Exhale, forward fold. Make certain that the neck stays neutral. I have a tendency to look up, which is bad for my neck. Bend into your front leg and bring your hands down to the inside of your foot. Walk the foot off to the right. Shimmy the back leg back, finding a variation on a runner's lunge. A lizard lunge. I knew where I was headed. Now you're welcome to stay here, driving the hips down, gaze up, spine lifts. Don't curl through your upper thoracic spine. Or you can drop that left knee down, which is actually a better hip flexor stretch. So if the front of your leg is what's tight on the left side, drop that leg down. We'll take just a few more breaths here. If you dropped the leg down, then make certain that your heel is pointed up towards the ceiling, not sickling your foot. And when you're ready, you can dig those left toes in, stretch the left leg out, walk the right hand back in so that you're framing your foot. We're going to pick up the standing split here. So walk forward with your hands, planting your hands on the floor or blocks. Stand on your right leg and pull your left leg towards the sky. And then bring the left leg down by the right. Shake those legs out. Standing evenly on all four corners. If you'd like, you can pop one knee, your right knee, and then walk your hands off to the side. If you can do it with the legs straight, do that. You're also welcome to take your blocks along for the ride. Come back through the center with your hands if you need to. Pop that left knee. Otherwise, keep them straight. Walk your hands off to the left-hand side. Come back to the center. Inhale halfway. Exhale and fold. Plant your hands and step back to a plank. Either take the vinyasa or press to down dog. Totally your choice. We'll all meet in our down dog, where we'll take 2 or 3 breaths. So we did a lizard, so we got to fit a pigeon in, right? Elise is like, no, we really don't. All right. Lift your right knee up and place the right knee to the outside of the right wrist, drawing your right heel underneath the left hip bone. Unless you're working on that leg forward variation, I think pretty much everybody here is probably working with the leg back. Before you fold, make certain that your right toes are all 5 toenails pressing into the floor, heel revolved up towards your hip. Then drop the left leg down, toes come flat, and now your upper body can release over your leg. Please don't think of this with a forward momentum. Keep pressing the hips back and down. If our goal here is for our hips to be even, and so if one hip is rolling off, like Elise, grab your block for me and place it under your left hip. Will you try? I know she hates when I ask her to do that. It feels good, but it makes me worry about your low back. Take a couple more breaths here. Yeah, oh my gosh, that's so much more even. Does it feel better or not? It's okay, good. It's a lot healthier for your low back. With your next breath here, go ahead, walk your hands back in. Tuck your back toes. Lift the back knee up off the floor. Drive from the belly button and the hips to lift yourself up and float your right leg up behind you. And then draw the right leg down to the ground and walk your dog out a little bit. Plant your right foot. Draw your left knee to the outside of your left wrist. Again, left toes are pointed back towards your hip bone. Left heel is revolved up towards the hip bone. Take a break here, take a moment, check in on the knee and the hips, see how you feel. Again, if one hip is rolling, place a block or a blanket under that hip. If everything feels okay, start to descend your front body down towards the mat, putting your pigeon to sleep. You can always stack your hands to make a little pillow for your forehead. You can draw a block under your forehead. Katarina's so comfortable, she's got her arms stretched out. She's like, I'm good, wake me up later. Couple more breaths. And as you're ready, on an inhale, walk your hands forward, bringing them underneath the shoulders, lifting up through the heart. Check in right here to see, did one hip lift as soon as you started to move, or can you keep the right hip pulling forward, left hip pressing back? Tuck the right toes in. Remember, we're going to drive up to that three-legged dog. So pull from the core, lift up through the left leg, stretch up, finding three-legged dog, and then bring the feet down next to one another. You can pedal this out again if that crunchiness in the knee didn't really serve you too well. And with your next exhale, bend your knees, drawing your knees down to the mat through table. Swing your hips off to the left, your feet off to the right, and come to a seated position. From here, stretch your legs out in front of you. Release the flesh from the sit bones, driving your hips back and away from your heels. And if this is not comfortable, you'll notice Kent grabbed a blanket because he kind of knows where I'm headed and knows he's not a big fan and needs a little lift through the hips, right? Honor your body, okay? Press out through the feet and draw the legs in close together. Grab your strap, please, and have it available. You can loop the strap around the feet, hold the strap in nice and close. And then as you lift up through the heart, just let your arms get longer with the strap, lifting up, sliding that strap. Finding a nice Tadasana pose, rolling the shoulders onto the back, pulling the core in and breathing. Bend the elbows out to the sides, hinge at the hips and forward fold. Remember your Uttanasana. Now I'm not yanking myself down, right? I'm just letting my elbows bend rather than grabbing for my feet. Does that make sense? Make certain that your neck is in line with your spine, so no big arching of the neck. Keep the neck in line with the spine. Inhale, lift the heart up. And then again, keeping the back nice and flat, hinge at the hips. Pull the belly up and in and see if you can come a little further forward. With your next breath, take your strap off your legs, roll onto your back, finding a supine position. Draw your heels in close to your sit bones, 6 to 10 inches away at most. Feel the hips riding down on the floor easily, shoulders nice and flat on the floor. Bring the arms in close to the sides and bend the elbows, fingers towards the sky. Press the triceps into the mat and lift your hips up, finding a nice bridge pose. Press through the knees, so you're trying to drive your hips towards your heels. Lift slightly higher. Now, imagine your heart pressing towards your nose as you keep your heels pressing into the floor, lifting up through the spine. Bring your hands underneath your back. Roll onto your left shoulder and drive your right shoulder underneath you. Roll onto the right shoulder and drive the left shoulder back underneath you. Clasp the hands if you unclasp them and press them closer to the heels, which will help you build this little tripod action in the shoulders to hold you. Press into the heels one more time and lift the hips even higher, pressing those triceps into the mat as you go. Release the clasp, unwind the hands, relax the hips down towards the floor. Draw the knees in towards the chest and roll over to your right side or just spin up, finding a seated position. From here, we're going to come back, again, pressing the shins out. Don't worry, I don't think you need your blanket on this one. Pressing the heels out long, we're going to bend the right knee and bring the right foot up and over the left leg. Plant that right foot down into the floor, and you can use your hands to draw yourself up closer to your knee, pressing the sit bones back and away. If this is hard to keep both hip bones down on the ground, stay right here. This is your yoga today. If you want to go a little deeper in this pose, left hand is going to go out to the side. You're going to roll onto that left hip and drive the left leg back by the right hip. Then roll back. Our next step is, can I start to get that right hip coming back down on the floor, even as I have the left leg back by the right hip? If that's all working for you, we're going to use the left hand to hold the knee in. Take the right arm behind you. Now you can do this with the left leg straight, all right? So if you didn't take that option of bending the leg, that's okay. Reach up with the left arm, find a twist to the right, and then drive the left elbow down in between the leg and the chest. Relax the right shoulder, so maybe the right hand goes flat on the ground. Lift through the heart. Your left hand can stay up here in Ardha Matsyendrasana, or you can press it towards the floor, which will give you a little bit more leverage to twist further to the right. Take a couple breaths here. Unwind without rubber banding coming through the center. Take the pretzel that is your legs apart and we'll stretch them back up again. Now take that left knee and draw the left foot up and over. Now you learn from the other side, right? So if you bent that leg and then when we went for the twist, went, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, but I don't want to undo it in front of everybody. Don't go there this time, right? Stretch through the right leg, pulling the chest up to the knee up to the chest and breathing. Option to roll to the right side and pull the right leg back, pressing the left hip back and down again, finding, testing, always taking a moment to say, do I go to that next place or is this what's serving me today? Would like to go deeper, float that left hand back behind you, roll that left shoulder open, reach the right arm up and twist to the left. Draw the right elbow down in between the left knee and the chest, plant the left hand, and see if you can twist a little more deeply, pulling that belly button through. You might even draw the right fingers towards the ground. And breathe. Take one more breath, and then as you're ready, unwind again, trying not to springboard out of that. Take your feet as wide apart as your mat, and then slide down. Make certain you've got space on either side of your mat, moving props out of the way. Drop the knees in on each other so your feet are nice and wide. Knees are knock-kneed in on each other. Arms can be out to a T or in cactus. Now, if your back is cranky and anything we did made your back feel more cranky, stay here. Please don't take the twist. If your back feels good, separate the knees slightly and then roll the knees off to the right side. So we're unwinding what we did in class. We started out with a bound supine twist, and now we're going to an easy supine twist. Always remembering that all easy means is we're not doing anything to make it more difficult for your body. Draw your knees up towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, release the knees off to the left side. Couple more breaths. And then inhale, draw the knees up to the ceiling. Bring both knees in towards the chest. Take the knees wide apart. We're headed to full happy baby. Hands reach to the outside of the feet from the inside of the knees. Flatten the sacrum, relax the neck. You're welcome to stay right here or to rock that baby a little bit, giving yourself a low back rub. Again, if the neck wants to get involved, just grab a brick and place it under your head or a blanket. Bring both knees back in towards the chest, grasping your shins, squeeze them nice and tight. And as you breathe, draw your forehead up towards your knees. As you exhale, relax the head down to the floor. Do that 2 more times. Inhaling, curling up into the knees. Exhaling, releasing even the shoulders down onto the floor. 1 more time with the breath. And as you come down for this final time, if there's a pose we missed and you'd like to get it in, yogi's choice, go for it. Otherwise, release the feet to the mat. Stretch your right foot out towards the right corner of your mat, your left foot out towards the left corner of your mat. Take that external rotation of the upper arms, palms skyward. Release and draw the shoulders towards the floor. And then exhale and release the entire body, letting your body melt down towards the floor. For about an hour, you've listened to me, listened to my voice. Now it's your time to relax. As you settle onto your mat, maybe just for today, the Reiki principles can be a guiding force for you. What are they? Just for today, I will not anger. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will work honestly. Just for today, I will be kind to every living thing. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, be kind to your body. With your next breath, draw the breath deeply all the way into the belly, feeling the belly expand, being grateful for that breath. And then contract the abdominal muscles, exhaling the air out, making space for another new breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles, bringing awareness back to your body, the room. And then clasp your hands over your heart, flip your palms skyward, and then rotate the arms overhead. Nice long morning stretch, pressing through the heels if that feels good. And on an exhale, drawing everything into the center, grasping the shins, maybe giving yourself an extra little rock side to side here. And finally, choosing your preferred side to roll to, cradling your head for one brief breath. And then stretching long through your legs, pressing up, finding an easy seated position, ending our class as we began it. I love how just sometimes these, whether you call them God incidences, coincidences. I opened up Bante's morning coffee wisdom, and I thought it so applied to this class, the idea of when you see beauty in yourself, it's easy to find beauty in others. Appreciating the body you have, the life you have, the breath you have. Being able then to take that out and share that appreciation with others freely, without reservation. Thank you for joining me today for your practice, and congratulations on doing something beautiful for your body. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. It was lovely to see folks back in studio and to see folks online. I appreciate that. Can't wait till as we're all getting vaccinated and feel safer, we're comfortable coming back in. I'll see if anybody has any questions. So I'll open up. I think you can control your sound too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.